Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. You know, it's been a long winter, but like it does every year, the snows melt, the trees bud, but maybe the most exciting sign of spring is when we start to see those big toms strutting their stuff along the edge of the greening fields. It's a time many of us love, not only because we've been cooped up for months, but there's just something so magical about hearing a big old tom fire off early in the morning. This week, we're headed out to the turkey woods once again. We'll start in Texas, where my buddy Jason Cleveland uses his HECS system to knock down a couple of great Rios. Then we're going to dust off the PSEs and get after the birds in my home state of Eastern Oregon. As always, we'll be bow hunting the HECS way, setting right out in the open with no blinds and only a few feet from the decoys. You know, it's going to be a great show, so sit back and relax as we go hunting with HECS.
Hunting is about getting close. Really close. Get closer than you ever thought was possible.
When you have a cameraman and you setting out in a dirt field like this, you can get away with so much with this HECS on.
I've got to give credit once again to HECS.
We showcase the science of getting close right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by PSE Archery. Tough Country, American values forged in steel. Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts. Nocturnal lighted nocks, illumination that lasts for 20+ hours. Rocky Mountain hunting calls, we call the game. Tacticam, share your hunt. Warren Winches. Trophy Properties and Auction. And HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
On this first hunt, Jason Cleveland and his friend Andy Pettit spotted a group of toms across a big pasture working along an old fence row. The pair quickly worked around in front of the birds and hurriedly set up at the edge of the pasture. You can see here the pair just set up on the ground about 15 steps from the decoys in plain sight of any birds that might come in. You know, most guys would probably back up another 10 yards and get in that brush. But Jason is a HECS veteran, and he knows that he can get away with so much more when he's wearing his HECS technology. After a couple of quick hang calls, the guys had the birds beelining into their setup. As it turned out, there were 3 good toms in the front, and they were followed by a whole flock of jakes. When they reached the decoys, Jason and Andy dropped the hammer. Well, there was a little miscommunication about when to shoot, but they made the best of it and still pulled down a triple. You know, Jason and Andy have used HECS for years, and you know most veteran turkey hunters would probably be very skeptical of this wide open setup. But Jason knows that when he has the HECS technology in play, the birds look right through him and allow him to get away with things that most turkey hunters wouldn't even dream of trying.
Well, a group of 3 2-year-olds came in, and a group of 3 2-year-olds died. We didn't give them much of a chance, man. Andy, I'm sure, was thinking about those jakes, pushing them off and doing what we just ran into over there, is running some gobblers off and stuff. But it was a great first opening day of Texas turkey hunting, man. Opening day, we got 3 down. Brother Pettit's first and second Rio. Doubled up. Big old batch of 2-year-olds, awesome.
Stick around, things are gonna get crazy right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. This week, we're breaking loose from our cabin fever and hitting the woods in search of gobbling birds. So far, we've got 3 in the truck and we have a lot more tags left. Now, let's catch up with host Mike Slinkard and see where we're headed next.
Now we're headed to my home state of Eastern Oregon, where my buddy Andy Day and I are after spring birds, and we're looking to put our PSEs to work. You know, Andy and I have hunted this area quite a bit in the past, and we know that this is a favored travel route that those turkeys like to use in the morning. Here, we're set up on a pine flat that the turkeys love to feed in, and it wasn't long before we had a large group of birds headed our direction. As usual, Andy and I are set up in plain sight of the decoys with just a little back cover to break up our outlines. I'm up first to shoot, and it's Andy on the camera. If you're a fan of the show, you know that we hunt turkeys a little bit differently than most bow hunters. Rather than lugging around the cumbersome blinds that most guys think are essential if you want to get drawn on a bird in close range, we simply carry a light portable chair and we set up wherever we decide is good for the situation that day. HECS technology replaces our blind, and when the turkey comes in, we simply draw and shoot them. It's worked every time since we started this back in 2010, and it makes bow hunting these awesome birds so much more fun. Here's a great example of what we're talking about. When one of these toms worked his way into the decoys, I didn't wait for him to turn or get behind anything. I simply raised my bow and shot him with no reaction at all from the bird. This is what HECS technology does, and it is a giant game changer for the turkey hunter. With my first bird of the season on the ground, I whispered for Andy to grab his bow, and we quickly changed spots. Now Andy's a shooter, and I'm on the camera. The second tom that had been coming in with my bird was only a few yards to the left when I shot my bird, and he saw the whole thing go down. You know, normally that would have been it, and the rest of the birds would have circled around and all been gone. But as we see time and time again with HECS, even with all the movement that we had to make to change positions, when the rest of the flock came in, that same tom led the way right back into the decoys. When a second tom caught up, they virtually ran back in and were about to present Andy with a perfect shot.
The original HECS suit is very lightweight, breathable, and versatile enough to be used in almost any hunting situation. The HECS systems consist of 3 pieces. These essential pieces include a HECS pant, HECS top, and HECS head cover. You may use any combination of appropriate HECS products to achieve the goal of covering as much of your body as possible with HECS technology. All HECS hunting products are now available in our new HECS Style Anywhere and HECS Style Green digital camo patterns to match any terrain. The material features a highly electrically conductive carbon grid woven into the polyester base cloth. The grid blocks your body's electrical field. The suit is designed to be worn under your regular camo or over the top as an outer layer. The technology is effective either way. The original pants are cut similar to sweatpants, with an elastic waistband, elastic cuffs on the bottom, side pockets, and a convenient fly. The pullover shirt features thumb holes, serge stitching, and an embroidered logo. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, our versatile multi-rag that can be worn in a variety of ways, camo gloves made of a lightweight, stretchy material in matching camo, and a heavyweight over-the-calf sock. And of course, all of the accessories have the HECS grid woven right in. Order right now and use the promo code to save $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Visit our website to learn more about our full line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering. HECS has a lot of new products, including this comfortable hooded shirt. It comes with an integrated face mask, a convenient front pocket, thumb holes, and is the perfect HECS outerwear piece for these cooler days in the field. It comes in both HECS style camo patterns as well as a two-tone version. You can check it out on our website along with our other great products. While you're there, take the opportunity to get your own HECS system on the way. We'll see if Andy can make the shot right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. Before the break, we watched as host Mike Slinkard dropped a nice bird right in the decoys with a well-placed shot. With more birds still in the area, Mike switches off to the camera so his buddy Andy Day could pick up his bow and try to pull off a double. Now, let's get back to the hunt.
You know, this is some pretty HECS-y stuff right here. Here we are, two guys sitting on chairs only 15 steps from the decoys with nothing between us and the birds but thin air. We just did some crazy movement, change of positions, plus my dead bird is plainly visible right beside the decoys. Yet these birds couldn't have cared less. You know, it's our first hunt of the season and Andy's shooting muscles aren't quite where they were last fall, so he's having trouble drawing his bow. You can even see here his arrow actually falls off the rest. Not only did we have the noise of the arrow clanking, but you can plainly see that Andy's making huge moves here, only yards away from two mature toms, and not a single putt was heard. When he finally got his bow back, the arrow went high, just trimming some feathers off the top of the bird's back as it went past. Well, if you've ever had any doubt about what HECS technology will let you get away with, you need to watch that segment again. Those were giant movements with nothing between us and the birds. Yet, with HECS removing the electrical energy from those movements, those birds, including several more that were just off camera to our left, didn't see those movements as living. And as always, they totally ignored them. Well, I wanted to do a little talk with you, showing our setup. So we're right where the turkey died, and you can see behind us what kind of a setup we had. The only thing we had, we still got turkeys talking. The only thing we had behind us was that big pine tree, but between us and the turkeys was absolutely nothing. And that's what HECS is about. And you've seen it now for years. I mean, we've been doing this since 2010. But the reason we can do this is that HECS blocks the electrical fields that our bodies create. When we move, there's electrical impulses that come out of our body. Birds see it visually, it's very well proven. They use electrical fields to navigate, but they also see it from living beings. So when a movement has a living electrical field coming out of it, the turkey knows that that's something he needs to pay attention to, and they're going to bolt and run and putt and do all the things that turkey hunters are used to seeing turkeys do. What we're doing, we're blocking the electrical field. If you take the electrical field away, it's just like a branch in the wind, and you saw it. I mean, I came to full draw, no reaction at all. Andy actually came to full draw. His arrow fell off his rest. He was able to put it back on, still got to full draw. He shot a little bit high, which is unfortunate. But the point is that we got away with all of that with these turkeys at point blank range. So we are out in the mountains in Oregon. We're a long ways from anywhere. These are completely wild birds, and I tell you what, HECS makes a difference. If you haven't tried it, you owe it to yourself. Get some HECS and get away with some movement. Well, even with all that action, we still weren't done. We quickly moved to another spot and sat up again. This time, a lone tom that was out prowling around answered my call. As always, Andy and I are both sitting right out in the open on our chairs, only steps from the decoys. With nothing between us but crisp spring air, that big old tom strolls right in. Well, here's one for you guys who always say that we only get away with all that movement because we wait for the turkey to lock up on our decoys. Well, this bird isn't even close to the decoys when Andy starts to draw his bow. You know, Andy's still having trouble drawing his bow, and he's making huge movements trying to get it back, and he finally even has to let it down. This tom is nowhere close to being locked on the decoys, and we're obviously in plain sight of him, yet he ignores everything Andy's doing as natural movement and just walks right on in. Unfortunately, once again, Andy's arrow goes high. You know, I feel really bad for Andy. You know, he's just got his bow set like he did last fall, and he's having a hard time getting it back while he's sitting down. And I don't want to make Andy feel bad, but I just really thought it was important to let our audience see for yourself the sort of movement that's actually possible when using HECS technology. You know, no one would ever believe that you could get away with that much movement, but when the bird doesn't see the electrical emission from living movement, it just doesn't fear that movement. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. HECS technology is truly the biggest advantage a turkey hunter can have for getting that perfect shot opportunity.
Our most popular HECS system is our base layer. The base layer is a lightweight semi-thermal material designed to be worn under your regular hunting clothing or over the top. It comes in the original olive green, as well as our new HECS Style Anywhere and HECS Style Green digital camo patterns to match any terrain. The material features a highly electrically conductive carbon grid woven into the polyester base cloth. The grid blocks your body's electrical field. The suit is designed to be worn under your regular camo or over the top as an outer layer. The technology is effective either way. All complete HECS systems include 3 pieces. These essential pieces include a HECS pant, HECS top, and HECS head cover. You may use any combination of appropriate HECS products to achieve the goal of covering as much of your body as possible with HECS technology. The shirt is a quarter zip Henley with rugged serge stitching, embroidered HECS logo, and thumb holes. The form-fitting pants have rugged serge stitching throughout, and the heavy elastic waistband and cuff ensure they stay in place. They also feature a convenient fly. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, our versatile multi-rag that can be worn in a variety of ways, camo gloves made of a lightweight, stretchy material in matching camo, and a heavyweight over-the-calf sock. And of course, all of the accessories have the HECS grid woven right in. Order right now and use the promo code to save $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Visit our website to learn more about our full line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering. We'll see if Mike can break the streak right after this quick break. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. We're chasing turkeys this week, and even though host Mike Slinker tagged one early in the hunt, his buddy Andy Day has been having some trouble connecting. Now, let's get back to the hunt.
A couple days later, we're back at that spot where I shot my bird earlier. Andy's on the camera, and I'm back on the shooter seat. This is a great spot to catch the turkeys congregating after they fly down off the roost. It's one of our best spots this year. We got turkeys down below us and up here both on the roost, so they've just flown down, and we're hoping that we can, hoping they'll come in. So I'm gonna start giving them some calls right now. It wasn't long before we had a couple good birds headed our way. You know, these birds were a little standoffish, and I'm guessing they could very well be the same two that were around when I shot my bird earlier and witnessed Andy giving that other one a close shave. Once again, I'm drawing in plain view of both birds who are clearly not locked on the decoys. Just like I always do with HECS, I draw my bow with no reaction at all from the birds. Well, that was disappointing. For whatever reason, those turkeys, they just didn't want to come all the way to the decoys. I don't know if they were worried about this strutter or what, but anyway, they were out there about 36. I still got the full draw and all that, obviously. I just shot him a little high. Looked like I just got feathers. I seen him standing down there. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. So guess we'll hope another one comes in. Well, I called several other places that morning and located another group of birds. The tom was henned up then, so I made a plan to be back there for an afternoon hunt in hopes I could find a gobbler away from the hens, as they often do later in the day. Well, I didn't have a camera person that afternoon, so I was on my own and self-filming the action. Okay, here we are. We're at midday. It's about noon. These gobblers have been henned up really bad in the morning, so my hope is I come in here in the afternoon, we do some calling, and hopefully we can get the attention of one of these birds that maybe isn't with a hen. And he'll come in here and check us out. Close, super close. This bird was right on top of me, and he was in the decoys in seconds after the first call. In fact, I didn't even have time to start my tacticams before he was in the decoys. Crazy. What a deal. We got more birds right here beside us too. This bird come in full strut. I didn't realize at the time, but there's 3 more birds right behind him. This bird literally gobbled after the very first call that I made, and he just came in on a string. I didn't even hardly have time to turn the cameras on. It was so fast. Literally, it took longer for me to set this setup up than it did for me to kill this turkey. We've been doing this for 11 years now, and I am out on public land today, so this is not farm birds. I look at all the comments online, and it just makes me chuckle because, you know, guys, oh, those are farm birds, or you can't do that on birds where I live. Well, guess what? You can. We've done this on birds in every state of the union. There's been thousands of birds killed this way now. Give it a try. If you're a turkey hunter, it's going to change the way you hunt. We'll be out after them again, trying to do this the HECS way. Hope you try it too. Once again, we've shown you some incredible turkey encounters using HECS technology. You know, I find it so much more enjoyable to bow hunt when I don't have to hassle with blinds and I get to simply sit in the open on comfortable chairs with no cover between us and the birds to get in the way of the shot. For the past 12 years, we've shown you how easy it is to draw your bow and shoot these birds with archery equipment, and it happens every season without fail. If we can do this with our bows, imagine the advantage you would have if you're using a shotgun. HECS technology blocks your body's electrical field, which science has proven beyond a doubt is visible to birds. With this visible trigger gone, the birds ignore our movements like they would weeds blowing in the wind, and we're able to get this crazy over-the-top footage and virtually no reaction from the birds at all. Remember, all turkeys see the same way, no matter what species you hunt, and HECS technology can help you get closer and get away with more movement than you ever thought was possible. Give us a call or go online right now and get your own HECS system on the way. We have a lot of new products to choose from, and so we're sure to have exactly what you need to make this season the best one ever. In the meantime, we'll keep pushing the limits and bringing it to you each week right here on Hunting with HECS.
If you have an amazing HECS encounter you'd like to share, give us a call or go online. If we use it on the air, you'll be in the running to win an exciting hunting trip with a HECS crew. You can find out more on our website. While you're online, make sure to take a minute and check us out on our social media sites as well.